Our first look at the forecast, let's bring in weather specialist Nora Fott.
Hey, thanks very much, Ann. If you're just like these guys out on the water and what I'm assuming is a paddleboard, a sailboat, jet skis, you picked the perfect weekend to be out and about. Things are looking great when it comes to the sunshine and also the temperatures. What you're seeing, though, when it comes to this grayish hue is a lot more smoke than cloud cover. That smoke still lingering across the GTA from those wildfires high up in the atmosphere. Now, we may be seeing a northerly wind in Toronto just now, but for much of the day it's been blowing from the south and southwest, and that has made things a tad bit uncomfortable, especially as you head towards areas like Timmins into Kingston as well. When you factor in the humidity, we're nearing the low to mid 30s for some. Peterborough 30 degrees, 33 in Timmins. Winds are close to that as well. And although we are seeing excessive heat warnings, an array of potential for severe weather in northern Ontario, tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches and warnings as well, we're not seeing any alerts right down here, but we know that air mass will surely settle in the next few days, and that means temperatures will start to feel a lot closer to the high 30s, potentially the 40s, heading into your next week. But in the next few hours, what we are expecting for the most part is a quiet night, and your Sunday brings a lot of high pressure. Sunny conditions may still feel a little bit on the grayish side due to that lingering smoke. Could see a potential for clearer skies come Monday. 19 degrees overnight tonight in Toronto with a bit of an easterly wind, and come tomorrow 27, feeling closer to 33, and the temperatures will keep on climbing from there. Ann?
Thanks, Nora. In Midtown, it is now the last week of July, and so many people are wondering what can they expect for this last little bit of the month.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will be once again turning their attention to the temperatures, and we're not just talking about what the thermostat is measuring, but also what it feels like when you factor in the humidity. Of course, that means also a potential for active weather. We'll see who will see what and when in the coming days. Well, you can certainly see where temperatures are becoming a concern. Midwest USA sizzling in those purple areas, North and South Dakota, just to name a few. And hot air mass is certainly settling in to central Canada, moving along to the east. That will mean humidex values nearing the 40s in the next few days. There has been some more relief still in parts of the west coast and the prairies. That's good news for areas like Jasper. Of course, we've seen the devastating scenes, hundreds of structures damaged due to that raging wildfire. That relief will be short-lived, unfortunately, in the next few days. Temperatures will start to climb heading into next week. Conditions will start to get dry over in that side of the country. Climbing temperatures also in Toronto, or I should say climbing humidity values, rather. Humidex feeling closer to 33 come tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine, though. This is a day that you'll probably want to spend out on the beach, by the water, somewhere to cool down from all of these humid conditions, which will extend well into next week. We're looking at a lot of high pressure, as I mentioned, so wall-to-wall sunshine, but again, the skies could look more gray than blue due to some of that smoke that won't affect the air quality too much. On Monday, we'll start to cloud over, mostly in eastern parts of Ontario. A chance of showers in the evening, Kingston and Cornwall towards Ottawa. For the rest of the southwestern portions of the province, still looking at clear conditions. Tuesday is when we'll start to see a potential for thunderstorm to bubble up around the GTA, also towards southwestern Ontario and moving into cottage country. And notice when all of this sunny activity was happening down here, we were starting to see more and more of these storms roll in through north and northwestern parts of Ontario, which means those regions will see a lot of rain in the next couple of days. We're talking around 40 to 50 millimeters or so, potentially as we head into Tuesday. 29 in Muskoka tomorrow, North Bay, London, Ontario, 30 in Windsor, upwards of that in Niagara Falls, and for some around Barrie, 29, Newmarket, also in Milton, Guelph, around that same range as well. And don't be fooled by those thunderstorms. Yes, they will bring some temporary relief still, though. Humidity values nearing the upper 30s to 40s, drier on the weekend, Friday and Saturday, 29, with a mix of sun and cloud.
Our first look at the forecast, let's bring in weather specialist Nora Fott.
Hey, thanks very much, Ann. Can't think of a better way to end the day than with a picture-perfect shot of the Toronto skyline. CN Tower lit up. Hopefully your face also lit up today with the gorgeous conditions that we had. 24 degrees outside the Toronto airport. That beautiful sun has set a long time ago. We're still seeing winds from the south, but the gusting winds, Windsor, Sudbury, Toronto, those have calmed, and that's a good thing. It was not the nice kind of breeze, but rather the breeze that made things more muggy and uncomfortable. And yet, still in the GTA, there's a lot of humidity over here into Windsor, a tad bit cooler for our friends in Bancroft, also into Sudbury as well. Excessive heat warning still gripping northern and northwestern Ontario. That will continue into the weekend, and we're also seeing some rainfall warnings due to the lines of thunderstorms that have been rolling through the province the past few hours. Nothing that we're concerned about in that department right down here, but that will change come next week. For the most part, we're going to see clear conditions, and in fact high pressure takes over come tomorrow. Wall-to-wall sunshine, but the skies, much like today, are going to look more not blue, but rather on the gray side due to that wildfire smoke still lingering around in the atmosphere. Tomorrow, 27 degrees in Toronto, feeling closer to 33 with the humidex, plenty of sunshine. But yes, that smoke we'll be dealing with mostly throughout the day. Anne?
Thanks, Noor. In Midtown, Dream Wheels. All right, it pains me to say this, but we are now into the last weekend of July, and I would love for you to share what people can expect, at least temperature-wise. Is it going to be regular summer or intense summer-like?
Yeah, it really depends on where you're situated in the country. The good news is you'll be watching the temperatures. That will be a nice distraction from the fact that summer is ending. And over the next few days, we'll really pay our attention to not just what the thermometer is measuring, but what the humidex is also feeling like. Mid to high 20s across southwestern, southern, eastern Ontario, extending into the north. We got a little bit of a taste of what will continue into the next few days, and it's going to be hot, I can tell you that. Central Canada seeing a hot air mass settling in, and it's sliding to the east ever so slowly. That is what will bring those humidex values closer to the 40s in the coming days. Relief today, still into parts of Western Canada and the prairies. And that's been good news, especially for areas like Jasper, where we've seen those devastating scenes after that community was ravaged by a wildfire. That relief, unfortunately, is temporary. Temperatures also climbing over there in the next few days, and that will make things worse when it comes to the risk for wildfires. Things will get exceptionally dry, especially in the southern portions of the prairies. Dry as in no rain come tomorrow in Toronto, 27, feeling closer to 33. And those humidex values will keep on climbing the next few days, even as we see that high pressure take over Sunday. As I mentioned, some smoke in the skies, although it won't affect the air quality too much. We're looking at Monday, which will bring some cloud cover southwestern Ontario and a potential for showers in the GTA, also towards Windsor and into Chatham as well. Very brief, but it won't be until Tuesday when we could potentially see some more of those thunderstorms. It gets off to a deceiving start in the morning, but here is that activity bubbling up by the afternoon. GTA, Northern Durham region, Georgian Bay, over Lake Simcoe, Lake Ontario rather, and Lake Huron as well. 15 degrees in Kingston tonight, and those thunderstorms are a good thing because yes, they do provide some relief, but that relief will only be temporary, because as we continue well into next week, we're still going to see those temperatures above seasonal. And even as things start to dry up, Saturday 29 degrees in Toronto, feeling closer still to 38.